Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fifth episode of the Film Studies Club podcast. Fifth episode.
Yep.
I am your host, Robert Burke, and we're here to talk about movies. I am joined by my co-host,
Pahol Chabra.
and the
Why do you laugh?
checker.
What?
The fact checker, Nicholas Manna.
That's me.
And today we have a very, very special guest. I think all of our favorite teacher. I know her as Madam, but they know her as Profa. But her last name is Rager.
Yeah. Wait.
Hola, mis estudiantes. Bonjour.
Anyway. So today we're going to be talking about movies, as we always do. But first, for anybody who's listening who doesn't know Madam Rager, we should ask her a couple questions to get to know her. So I'll start. Madam Rager, how has your quarantine been?
God, that's such a big question.
It has been interesting, to say the least. A lot of time at home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, hold on. Why are we bleeping God out?
Well, okay, because damn by itself is fine, but God is a little bit much.
You're being bleeped, Paul.
Yeah, take that, Paul. Paul, you ask a question.
Okay. Profile, what's your favorite meme?
Okay. I don't know what these things are, Paul. Can we deal with questions that have to do with movies?
Out of the 3 movies we're gonna review, what's your favorite one?
Out of the 3 movies, probably Avatar.
Really?
Okay.
That's an interesting take.
Nick, you ask your question.
Profa, how has life been without me in the classroom?
I have to say I miss my students because I don't get to see their faces anymore.
Darn.
You're seeing our faces.
Yeah.
Just your faces. Yeah, it's weird just getting emails and papers without any connection. So I miss everyone.
Wow.
Even you, Nico.
Okay.
We have to send this podcast to Nico so that he'll listen to it.
Okay.
So let's start with the movies. So our first movie that we'll talk about today, let's go in alphabetical order. Let's start with 12 Angry Men. So this movie is about 12 dudes who are angry. They're men. And they have to debate this case about if a kid should die or not for maybe killing his dad.
He should die.
Did he? Did he not?
He should die.
That's the movie.
He's guilty.
Wait, time out. It's not just 12 guys. It's a jury. It's a jury.
No, it's just 12 dudes. They just get together.
We went to the courthouse for fun on a Sunday, and then they were like, let's just debate it for like 7 hours.
It's a jury, and they're discussing their verdict for the trial, and they have to agree.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It was directed by Sidney Lumet. Came out in 1957, which is my personal all-time favorite year for film was 1957. And I was the movies that came out that year later. But let's go in order of my screen. So, Nick, you're going to share your opinions of 12 Angry Men first.
I really like 12 Angry Men. It was a completely like dialogue-based movie, which... What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
It was a completely dialogue-based movie, which I usually very much like, but only if the dialogue is good, because if you have a dialogue movie and the dialogue is bad, then what the hell are you doing? I thought this was based on the book. After we watched it, we looked up if it was based on the book, and it was. I think it would be better in a book form just because it was completely dialogue-based, but like, I don't know. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and I watched this with Robert over like a screen, so I was basically watching the entire movie in like 3 frames per second, but that like very rarely took me out of the experience. So I mean, that just says how good the movie is. I thought it was really good.
3 frames per second?
Yeah, it was so laggy. Like it was
That's
so
really,
bad.
really low. Wow. Okay. I am next on my screen. So, we forgot to explain our backgrounds.
We don't have to do that.
Robert, you're the host. Try to focus.
Anyways, other movies that came out the year.
Actually, technically, as co-host, we're like equal positions.
Okay.
Like Robert.
I'm the host. You're the co-host. I know the movies.
No, but if there's a co-host, then they're equal positions, dude.
Okay, so
No,
let's.
but I always say I'm the host and you're the co-host. So it's like
Yeah, co means there's two people.
no, but I'm not the co-host, and I'm not the co-host and you the co-host. I'm the host and you
Shut
the
up,
co-host.
let's just
No,
get
no,
on.
you got it
Back
entirely
to the
wrong, dude.
movie.
Back to
Then
movie.
I'd be like the vice host
Shut
if you
up.
want that.
You've been demoted to vice host, Paul. Okay,
There we go.
1957 was my favorite year for film because movies such as 12 Angry Men, Paths of Glory, The Seventh Seal, Knights of Cavalria, The Cranes Are Flying, Wild Strawberries, lots of great movies came out that year. And 12 Angry Men is actually my favorite from that year. This movie is actually part of the reason that I am into movies now, which is why I was happy when Madam mentioned it as a movie that we could review. I think 12 Angry Men, even though like Nick was talking about, like it would work better in like a book setting and it's more like attuned to a stage play. I think the fact that Sidney Lumet took 97 minutes of 12 guys sitting in a room and made it so entertaining and like so engrossing was extremely impressive. And like filmmaking wise, the filmmaking is like very, very simple, but it's so well done. The way that they use like close-ups as the movie goes on, and the way that they use sweat and rain as symbols for how the room is slowly going progressing. And as the years have gone on, I've like learned and understood the message more and more. And I really like what it's saying about like the idea that we will go with the easiest facts without discussing the difficulty. And the movie has this clear heroes and villains. For only two of the characters, only one of them is very clearly a bad person and one of them is very clearly a good person. But even then, there's so much like room in between the other 10 jurors in the room. And as you see each one of them making their decisions and talking differently to one another, it reveals so much about their characters. And even though there's certain jurors that have like probably 10 to 20 lines, there's a couple of them in there. They all feel like fully developed characters. And going out of the movie, I felt like I remembered each one of them individually for like who they were. And the way that the movie uses dialogue to build aggression and then simmer back down, it all feels very natural. And I don't know, I think the fact that a very attention deficit 11-year-old me could sit through a movie of guys sitting in a room and talking just goes to prove like the power of this movie. It's one of my all-time favorites, and every single time I watch it I just get so engrossed and I can't stop watching. I think one time I just wanted to see the first 10 minutes for some reason, and I ended up watching the entire movie because I can't start it without finishing it, just because it's so well told. It's such like an interesting perspective, and yeah, I just think it's one of the best movies of all time. All right. Next person on my screen is Madam Raker. So
Okay,
Damn
so
it.
I'm going to disagree with you because you're wrong. So the movie isn't showing how people pick the easiest way out. It's showing preconceived notions going in. They all had what they thought was the right answer based on their past experiences. So as you could see from the guy who was really angry, he had some previous history with his kids, with the war. There were people that had obvious racist views. So it was the preconceived notions coming in, and they all had it. They originally did want to just get it over with because they didn't want to delve too much in that. But as the movie goes on, those racist views, their ideas start coming out into the open. That's what makes it more and more interesting. And you get to see the history or the stories behind every opinion that they have. So it doesn't seem like it's just baseless. And that's what's interesting, Robert.
Dang, I feel like I just got schooled. I'm not even in school right now.
Oh.
What would Paul think?
Okay, last time I watched this movie was 3 years ago. I think it's about to be 4 years because my Wi-Fi went out last night and I couldn't watch any of the movies. I watched a little bit of Avatar because I've never watched Avatar before. And that's it. And I remember a racist guy in this movie, and I remember the good guy, and that's all I know. But I remember having fun while watching it. So yes, I support this movie.
All a blur.
And I think that's part of the power. The fact that you had fun with a movie from the 50s that was in black and white and in one setting. Like this movie easily could have been like very well told and had like a really good story, but it could have ended up being kind of slow paced and boring. But it feels like very fast paced to me. Like every single time it goes by, it just flies by.
It still holds up.
Yes.
I believe that it has been remade twice.
Oh,
since-
that's
really?
disgusting. That's actually
Yes.
awful.
I know.
Fact check.
Oh yeah, Nick, you're the fact checker. Why am I looking this up?
Check it out. I think it's
Yeah, douchebags.
Oh, that's not one of the words we can use.
We can't use douchebag?
No, we made a list of words that you can use, and that was not one of
That's-
them.
I'm looking at
that's
a 12
bull
Angry
crap.
Men in color, so I think it's been remade at least once.
What?
It's been remade at least once.
At least once, I think twice.
Not sure.
I don't know how you can like see this movie and then think that you want to remake it to try to improve on it in any way, shape, or form. 'Cause-
Money.
Yeah, of course, money. But like, it's so hard to improve on this. Like, I feel like this is one movie where it just like reached its like maximum potential, and so many years later, it's like all types of people.
Kind of
like,
sucks.
IMDb gave it a 7.9.
Letterboxd gave it a 4.5. Just saying, out of 5.
Yeah, I don't care.
One of their highest rated movies. Anyways, shall we go? Shall we do scores?
I think we should.
Okay, Nick, you start.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
I will give it a 9.75.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm at a 9.
Yeah! Woo!
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Okay, a quick question. Did you watch Castaway?
Castaway, I watched it a few months ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Avatar is the only movie that you haven't seen the entirety of.
Yeah, I right when the ponytail scene where they do it or whatever in their alien forms. That's what after that when the trouble starts, I just ended it because I got bored.
Yeah,
I
that's,
I want to
that's
see
probably
violence,
good.
It's too much distraction.
That's good.
Anyway, let's say that for the discussion. Nick, you have some facts about 12 Angry Men?
Oh my god, I do have some facts about 12 Angry Men. So, in this movie, one thing that I liked about it was how like the cinematography was so subtly amazing. Like, the cinematography is made to make the entire room look very claustrophobic, and it also moves around the room a lot to make it a lot less boring since it's only one scene. So they had to work with that. Anyways, and apparently this film is like we all know it's like kind of symbolic to like represent different parts of a group when they try to work together. So because of this, the film is commonly used in like business schools and workshops to kind of show how group dynamics
That's
are.
kind of stupid.
Okay, screw you.
Oh, I think, okay, like that kind of makes sense because like they do have to like learn how to work through a problem together. But I don't know.
Seems like a
understand
weird
the
movie.
cinematography thing though, because like if this movie was made today, it would be like a one shot and it would get really boring while watching it. Okay, Nick, do we have a transition sound effect?
Yeah, I didn't add any more, so that didn't work. God damn it. Okay, no sound effects for today.
Can you make a sound effect into the mic?
No sound effects.
No, but you played the applause earlier.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so now we're on to our next movie, which is Avatar.
Oh, it's
So-
playing, but like not really. Okay, never mind.
What?
It's playing on the recording, but not in real
Is
life.
that Mickey Mouse on your sunglasses?
Yeah, it's from Disney.
Wow, they just will put Mickey Mouse in. Okay, so our next movie is called Avatar. It came out in 2009, and it was directed by James Cameron, and it was nominated for a lot of Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Visual Effects and Best Screenplay, maybe. And it follows the story of a dude who is on a space program, and he goes to this moon of Jupiter, I believe, called Pandora. And on it, there are these unique life forms that are like blue people with really long hair. And he is able to transition his body, his physical human body, into a body of the blue people named Na'vi.
Na'vi.
And from there, lots of stuff happens.
Wow.
For that.
Is that one okay, Raker? Was that a better
Yeah.
plot summary?
Lots of stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of facts. Okay, I'm gonna look up how many Oscars this was nominated for slash won. But Nick, what are your thoughts on this movie?
At the time, I thought it was very entertaining for, as Robert said, for my attention deficit brain. Um, like I don't know. I thought it was like nearly as entertaining as like I don't know Infinity War, but like not really, but like kind of. And I thought it was really good movie to like watch for just my really young brain. However, now I don't think it holds up to what like I thought when I was really young. So I mean, obviously, but this movie, I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, it's not fantastic, but I think it's all right. That's my thoughts.
Wow, we only have the most in-depth analysis on this
Yes,
podcast.
Nick, why? Why?
I can't think of why. It's just like the story is just so like linear, and also it's just so.
Wow, the story is linear, so it goes from one point and ends at another point.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's okay. Like it's just this guy is the enemy and that's all he is, and then this guy is the protagonist and that's all he is, and then this girl's the love interest and that's all she is. I think there should be like
That's
other
not
risks.
all she is. She's also the she's.
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it in probably 10 years.
Wow.
Okay, wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Okay. It's my turn now because you're done, Nick. So Avatar was nominated for Best Visual Effects, Cinematography, Production Design, Best Picture, Director, Original Music Score, Sound Mixing, Sound Editing, and Film Editing, and it won Visual Effects, Cinematography, and Production Design. When I was a little kid and this first came out, I think I first saw it when I was 7, and I got to see the extended edition because they put it back in theaters, and it was in IMAX, and that was like one of my earliest memories was going to see Avatar in IMAX, and I thought that it was just so cool. And afterwards, I went and I bought the Blu-ray, and I have probably seen this movie like 50 times. I know like so much about it. There was a on the Blu-ray like box set, the collector's edition. Nick has a baby on his screen. There was 10 hours of bonus content, and I watched I think 8 of those 10 hours of bonus content about this movie. I was like obsessed with it. And I watched it again recently, and I do kind of have to agree with Nick. It doesn't really hold up to what it was when I was younger. I think part of the reason that I loved it so much when I was younger was because it was like such a fantastical world, and just the like James Cameron is just kind of like a genius when it comes to world building. I've noticed that about a lot of his movies, and I think that's why he's considered such a good director. And his world building here is just like the best it's ever been. There's so much. This movie is just like stunning to look at in the first place. And beyond that, the culture that he builds with the Na'vi people. I mean, there was a whole book called Na'vi, and it was like about their culture and their customs. And I bought it when I was a kid, and it was 300 pages long. Like the fact that he went that in depth with making the people in this movie and making the sets and everything and the visual effects, obviously it's just spectacular. And it makes sense why this movie was the highest grossing film of all time for 10-ish years, because, it makes sense. But I gotta say, it didn't really leave much of an impact. And I think that's the biggest problem with the movie. I think that's the problem with this movie, is that emotionally it doesn't have a whole lot going for it that you can't really get from like, Pocahontas. It's a very similar story to Pocahontas, or Dances with Wolves, or many different movies like that. It just has a lot of cool like production design and visual effects. And the acting to me isn't really anything special. It makes sense why this wasn't nominated for any acting awards. And I still enjoy it. I think it's a very entertaining movie, and it definitely makes 2 hours and 42 minutes fly by. But it wasn't, I don't know. After watching it again, I still think it's a great movie, and it'll always be in my heart because of the love I had for it when I was a child. But as of now, I think it's a movie that doesn't, the visual effects stick in my mind, but the story does not. And those are my thoughts.
Paul?
No, it's Rager. It's your turn.
I feel like Paul should get something in here.
Yeah, I want to get it in after you.
Okay, well, I think that once again, Robert, what are you talking about? I think the movie is even more applicable today as everyone from Elon Musk to whomever else is trying to escape the planet that we've already ruined so we can go somewhere else and ruin another one. And that's exactly what happened in Avatar. It's still apropos today.
Yeah, I mean,
And with the virus, one of the benefits that they've been constantly touting is how the environment is popping back up and thriving without us being out there to ruin it, which was the message of the movie.
of course. No, I understand that. I was just talking like on a character basis, like the arcs that they go through and the emotions that I felt for them. It was nothing memorable for me.
But the films, when films are made, they're not entirely based on costumes, and there's a message that the director's trying to send out to you. The main mass message that he's sending out to you is, why do we do this? And yet we continue to do it even to this day.
Of course. And I love the movie for that message. And I'm excited to see where Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 are going to go with that message. But just like purely on a character basis, like I think that that message, it definitely sticks with you. But like beyond the characters, it's really hard to name any other names because they're just not memorable. There's just nothing. They're there to serve the story primarily. And that works in certain movies. But when you have a big blockbuster like this, I think that this movie just kind of got like lost in the spectacle and it kind of forgot about the emotions, you know?
No, I don't know.
Anyways, Pahul, what are your thoughts?
Okay, wait, I have a question first.
Yes.
So does the guy get his legs back at the end, or does he die or something? What happens at the end?
He becomes spoilers. Doesn't he become a Na'vi for like...
He decides to stay when everything starts falling apart.
So he just dies?
I think that's implied.
Okay.
His soul goes into the Na'vi.
And he jumps into the tube and stays there.
Well, I guess that's a good, okay ending. But so what I noticed was when this guy, when he first becomes like the Na'vi person and he's sleeping in a camp full of Na'vi people.
Mm-hmm.
And no, before that. So he starts running away, right? And he runs away. And at the end, he starts wiggling his toes in the sand or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed that the way they rendered the sand on his feet, it was really bad. And that kind of took me out of the movie. That's like... I just didn't like that. Well, actually, I have other stuff too. I guess the visual effects are cool. I don't get the whole ponytail system. I just don't get that. Like, it just seems very strange when you take it and you put it into human terms to consider what that would be if humans did that kind of stuff. With the animals and everything. You know what I'm saying, right? You all get what I'm saying. It's really weird. It's really weird. And another thing is that no, I think that's it. Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was an okay movie. I remember people used to say it's the movie of the decade and everything, but I don't get that.
Yeah, it just like, I don't know, like now it seems like all of the Marvel movies and all of that kind of stuff has just like completely overshadowed Avatar. And I'm kind of curious, like, what's going to happen to it when it comes to, Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 time and see how those do box office work.
You can't compare decades to decades, though. You're comparing special effects and things to decades. You can't do that. So, I mean, like Star Wars, the original movie, is nothing compared to the movie now. You can't compare them like that because the technology changes over the years.
I do agree with that, and I do think that like a lot of the visual effects in Avatar stood up, but I mean some of the sand stuff, yeah.
At
the time, it was awesome.
Yeah,
they were just lazy. It was bad, dude. Like if I watched that,
it to now.
Won an Oscar for visual effects.
Yes.
Well, they
we're
clearly
comparing
didn't pay
it to
attention
now,
to that
Paul.
scene.
Paul, not now, but then it was.
And okay, why is the professor wearing a Stanford T-shirt? She has nothing to do with Stanford.
I don't have a
I don't
step.
get that.
No, not you,
No,
Profa.
not you, Profa. Not the professor, the lead scientist or
Oh,
whatever.
in the movie.
Yeah, why is she wearing a? And how did they get it? How did they get? There's so many questions with this film. I hate it.
Wow. Yeah, you went from it's okay to I hate it very quickly, Paul.
Yeah, as I think about it, I learned to hate it.
Dang. That's just sad, man.
Very.
All right, so why don't we go around and give our scores for this movie?
Sure.
Nick, you
Oh yeah. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I will give it a low 8.
What?
Same. I'll give it an 8.
Wait, what? You said it was your
How-
favorite of the movies, and you gave 12 Angry Men a 9.
Yeah, because of for me, it's the message of the movie.
Ah, gotcha.
You shouldn't base a movie's quality based on their message.
It should be about everything about the movie.
Well,
For a communication instructor, it's on the message.
Ah,
Okay.
if that ain't facts.
You need to remember who's in here, Nico.
My name's not. You've never called me Nico before. Why is it all of a sudden?
This is Nico Ross.
Okay.
I called you Nick too. You're throwing me off. I haven't seen you in so long. I don't know what to call you.
My bad.
Call him stupid.
oh,
Not
Okay, Paul, what's your score?
I want to give this a clap.
Are you just-
But like a slow clap, you know, like a bad clap kind of way, like, oh, bad stuff.
You don't
bad
clap
stuff.
when you.
Switch to emojis.
Yeah, now I'm gonna switch over to emojis.
I
Wow.
give this one a poop emoji.
Hey, don't say that, Nick. What are some cool facts about Avatar?
Well, what are they? Avihis or whatever?
Navis.
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 They have their
Habibis.
own
Wow.
damn language. Like, it's an entirely fully developed language. And it's not just like the type of language where you just replace English words with like different words. They have their own grammatical system and everything. It's crazy.
I read about that
They're
in
like-
the 300-page novel.
It's kind of like the Minion language. You know how Minions have their own
It's
language?
nothing like
no.
that.
No, the Minion language is just a combination of Spanish, German, French, and English. It's not.
It's just
That's
them
really
going
funny.
like ooga booga or something.
No. There's Hindi in there too. I know, because that was like one of the facts that I learned from the movie.
I could
I
hear
wanna look up how many different languages are in the Minion language.
it. Okay.
I think the fact checker's supposed to do that.
Yeah, he's a little busy right now.
And once again, we've lost focus of the movie.
Profa, we don't stay on the line. With
Yeah, we never stay on focus.
Anyways, and my second fact is the fact that the soundtrack was supposed to be something that was like, aside from their regular score, it was supposed to be a combination of so many different cultures of like music, but James Cameron didn't like it because it sounded so new and unique, like music that no one has ever heard before. So obviously, like the musical patterns that our American ears are used to, he didn't like the music. So this like years of just producing this music was just tossed away because he didn't like it. Because like, why would you?
God, screw that guy. Screw that guy.
Why would
Yeah.
you?
He's in Avatar 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. He's got a lot of movies to go.
Yeah.
Did
So
you know-
are those still being made?
Oh yeah, no. Avatar 2 is coming out December 2021, and then the other ones are
Coming out
in 2 years. I know.
Coming
Do you
out
know what the first?
every 2 years.
You know what the first release dates were? Avatar 2 in December of 2014, and Avatar 3 in December of 2015.
They must have flopped because I haven't heard of them.
I think after the two.
Okay, so the Minions language is a combination of French, Spanish, and English.
Yes.
And also it uses like food references from other languages. Anyways.
Banana.
Oh.
Alright, Nick, do you have a transitionary sound effect or are they still not working?
Let's see.
My name's Jeff.
They're working.
Anyways, Now we are on to our third movie of the. Oh, my air conditioner just came on. The third movie of the podcast, and these movies don't really have a theme other than the fact that Madam Raker picked two of them.
They do too have a theme. Oh my god.
Well, what's the theme? What's the theme? I'm
It's
curious.
the human condition. So you've gone from preconceived notions as you share as a group. Oh my god.
Isn't that the theme
Oh.
of like any three movies ever, though?
No,
Okay,
not like
wait,
Infinity War.
Let me name 3 movies.
Okay.
Cars.
Cars
Let me think
2
about this.
Okay,
and
No.
Cars 3.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good list. Yeah.
so Bahul, I said to you,
So-
we're not doing children's movies. Can you name any
That's
movie
true.
that an adult has seen, not because they have kids?
Well, to be fair, you did see Shrek though.
When I had a kid.
Fair enough.
Movies are like really good and they're meant for all ages, like Ratatouille.
Oh, I love Ratatouille.
When I had a kid.
And
You don't
Soul
like
Calibur
Ratatouille
5.
anymore?
Okay, so let's focus back.
Wow, this is the type of focus we need for this podcast.
Yeah, this is the most organized podcast we've ever had.
Yeah, it really is. Like, you should listen to the other ones, madam. We're like, we go on
No, the
20
first one is
tangents.
pretty organized. The first one is really organized, bro.
Well, it's because it was just you and me, and then Nick came and threw off the whole dynamic. Anyways,
Screw you.
You have Castaway, which focuses on isolation.
yes, it is about a
Tom
dude
Hanks.
who is a. It's about Tom Hanks playing Tom Hanks, and he is a FedEx guy, and he's like, doing his FedEx guy things, and then one day he gets on a plane because he has to deliver a FedEx package on a plane, and then the plane crashes in the ocean, and he gets washed up on the shore, and he spends much time there. I won't spoil how much time, but he spends a lot of time there, and he has to learn how to adapt and become a caveman, basically.
Ooga booga.
Was that a good plot summary, madam?
It's all right.
Was the best one still Avatar?
Yes. So
At
he's
least-
learning to adjust in isolation.
exactly. Oh, which is very topical to right now.
It exists exactly.
Oh damn!
It's like we're all on
You
our
know
own
what?
island.
I saw a Reddit post of a guy who did the same thing where he put his hand on like the volleyball thing and he made a little friend of it, and it was an r/funny.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
pretty
shut
relevant.
Wait, he like cut his hand and it was bleeding, and then he just
No. You know how Tom Hanks did the thing to make his little friend on the island where he took the volleyball or whatever?
blood.
Wilson.
Oh well, he did it with mud.
Anyways, so let's start out. Nick, you didn't watch this movie, right?
Nope.
All right, let's do reverse order. So let's start with Pahul on this one. What were your thoughts about Castaway?
Okay, this is a very good question. And I did see it coming, but I didn't have time to think of it because of the first one on the list. But I'd like to say that, like, I watched 3 Tom Hanks movies, and this has to be in the top 3 of them. I don't know how to rank them exactly. I think Saving Private Ryan is the best one for me. Actually, no, I don't know. Scratch that. Nick, edit this part out.
Get it together.
But yeah, I think it's a fun movie. I like how in the end he drives off somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. He just drives somewhere very specific. It shows like the character change he develops at the end. I think that's very interesting. I also like how he doesn't become like a uptight punctual freak, and now he's like a loose kind of guy. He's all chill and stuff because who cares about time when you're stuck on an island, for I don't know how long, but a really long time. And yeah, that's it. That's all. Mic drop.
Do you have a mic drop sound effect, Nick?
Why would I have that?
You have a sound effect?
Here, wait. Here's the sound effect.
Oh,
That was my phone.
Nick cracked his phone. So, Adam, what are your thoughts on Castaway?
Well, going back to being a communication professor, I thought it was unique and interesting that no matter being alone or not, he still talks, finds ways to talk to himself, and then to create Wilson so that he has someone to talk to. So we are driven to communicate,
Dang.
even when we're alone. And Pahul, he ends up driving off by himself because life stopped for him on the island, but it did not stop for the rest of the world. When he comes back, those connections are all gone.
Oh shoot! Wait, he had a wife and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's like
Oh
the
yeah.
best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Paul.
And
Oh.
they moved on. They figured he was gone and they moved on.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part and the part where he like thinks about suicide and everything. Completely forgot that part. Yeah. Anyway,
I'd kill
I think
myself
it's
if I was
Robert's
on
turn
that
now. Yeah.
It is Robert's turn now. So Castaway, when I first saw it like 5 years ago, I didn't like it that much. I don't know, I think I was too young to enjoy it. And now that it has been 5 years and I rewatched it today, I actually enjoyed Castaway quite a bit. I really like the message that it's trying to tell, and I think that that's why this movie got better as I aged. The message of this movie is really nice, and it's very like, I think it's a very timely message right now, because I think a lot of people are realizing, wow, my life isn't as, you know, I don't need to be as busy as I always am. It's not like the end of the world if I'm not busy, you know? And I think that's a very just important message, and that's a message that I agree with a lot, even though my actions don't reflect it. And I think overall, I like that this movie, the way that they do like the island stuff, where it's like the way that they do survival, it's not like a cliched like how to get food and how to get water. I mean, it does focus on that quite a bit, but it's really just about like his resourcefulness with the little supplies he has and like his feelings. And I like how they show his feelings regardless of if he's talking or not. You still understand what's going on with him. And part of that is just that Tom Hanks is like one of the greatest actors ever. He's an awesome dude. And that does actually go into one of my problems with this movie. And Madam, I know you're very much going to disagree with me on this. But I feel like I don't like it when people say if blank wasn't in the movie, it wouldn't be as good, because it's like, well, blank is in the movie. But I'm going to use that anyways. If Tom Hanks wasn't the lead in this movie, I really don't know if, one, the character is strong enough, and two, if I have as much emotional connection with the character as I did. Because you see Tom Hanks and like everybody loves him and you just want to give him a hug, and you're really sad that he got coronavirus, but I think he's recovered at this point. He's obviously an awesome guy, and it was a great choice going with him for this movie, because not only is he an Academy Award winning actor.
You're comparing then to now.
How so?
Because now he's what you're talking about. Then he was not, but he had the strength of character and his acting skills to pull that movie off.
Okay,
True. That's true.
He wasn't Mr. Rogers then. He was just Tom Hanks then, starting out from a comedy career into more serious movies. So this was a big
part. And Rigger's the fat guy.
Fantastic job on his part.
Well, I do agree with that. I think even then, the way that he did like make me care about him was fantastic. But I mean, the character by himself, I think that they do a good job at the beginning by establishing that he is very busy all the time and he's so focused on productivity, and that the whole island thing changes him. But to me, I felt like beyond knowing that he was kind of like a mean guy at the beginning, I didn't find much else to like about him. So it took me a while into the movie before like I felt myself really getting invested.
That's the message of the movie.
I know.
He didn't spend enough time making the connections at the beginning of the movie, so you didn't feel anything for him. And it isn't until he's isolated that he realizes those connections were important.
Right.
And fortunately, they weren't strong enough, so when he came back, his wife had already moved on.
Yeah, and that was a great scene. I think a lot of this movie's like great scenes they save till the end.
Yes.
And
then
because of that,
invested in him.
Right. And it is a slow burn in that respect, that you have to start out with not really liking him a whole lot. And then as the movie goes on, as the slow burn goes on, but also I just thought that this movie was too long. I think 2.5 hours was a really long runtime for this movie. And I think you could have trimmed it down. And like, I understand why they had all the scenes that they did, but I still think that you could have trimmed it down. And if you cut off 30 minutes or 40 minutes of this movie, I think I would love it a lot more. But those are my
I
opinions.
think that was a standard time for movies back then as well.
In 2000?
Yeah, they used to, when the movies were longer. So now when I look at a movie and I see it's an hour and a half, I always think it's short.
Gotcha.
You spent all that money. You wanted to spend 2 hours to get your money's worth.
Oh.
That makes sense. All right. Shall we do scores?
10 out of 10.
I will give this a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm going back to a 9.
Ooh.
Wow.
Thumbs up.
So,
Thumbs up for the episode. All right, Nick, do you have facts about Castaway?
Yeah, my first fact, not extremely interesting, but I kind of like it. Anyways, one of the 3 volleyballs was sold for $18,000.
That's actually low.
Whoa.
I thought it would be way more.
Whoa.
yeah,
That's like a bragging point. Like if you have
Whoa.
the Wilson ball,
I have the Wilson ball from the movie.
and then they're like, "What? This is crazy."
Okay, anyways, and the volleyball had written lines in the script so that like, so that Tom Hanks could like view it as a person more. So, anyways, that's funny.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely helped with the acting.
Mhm.
Okay, transition sound effect.
Yeah.
Wait, nope, wrong one.
Just use that one.
What
Right.
is Nick's job again?
Wait,
We're still figuring it out.
it's not working.
Or anything. Okay, I guess the "my name is Jeff" sound effect is the only one working.
Yeah, why is that one working?
Anyways, we are on to the next film, which is called Cassie Cassie. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong because I don't speak Spanish. I speak French.
Cassie.
But this is a... Oh, Cassie?
It's just, yeah.
Cassie.
Cassie.
Cassie Cassie. This is a movie about some teenagers at a school, and they are running an election. And this election that they are running is against the like popular girl at the school that all of them have sexual fantasies about. And
Really
then
weird.
it's quite strange. And then it's about the election and how it affects their friendship and everything. So I think for this movie, we should have Rager start out, and then we'll go Nick, me, Pahul.
You want me to start?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the message was sometimes the ideal isn't the best option, I guess, with the girlfriend part. But this to me is a typical teen movie. And as you know, I'm not fans of children's movies or teen movies, but it was rated PG, so I knew everyone could watch it.
It has cursing in it.
It does.
Actually, it doesn't really have cursing in it. It's very mild.
True that.
But the translation in English, they added it and made it much worse, which is more of a commentary on our culture than their culture.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to brag, but I found that.
Yeah, because
They
the
called
words,
it.
the words in the subtitles did not match what they were saying. They were saying, very mild things, and so that didn't match.
They called the teacher a bitch.
Uh,
You're bleeping yourself on
Yeah,
that
that's
one,
pretty
okay?
mild, so. But for the time period, I think it was all right.
So is that like stupido is like much more offensive in Mexico than it is here?
Yes.
Okay. What, Paul?
Stupido? Is that how it's pronounced?
It's a little bit stronger. It's just-
Stupido.
What was I gonna say?
So this is like dumbass.
Yeah, but it's meaner.
There is so much censoring going on in this video, and it's the one with our teacher. I remember I was watching Diabolique in class, which is a French movie, in French too. And in French, they said that a character was stupid, and in the English translation, they used the F word. And I remember I was like, wow, that is just so much more than it needs to be.
Yes.
But anyways, Nick, what are your thoughts on this movie?
I wasn't expecting much. I thought that the I thought that the high school life was a tad bit more realistic than I thought it was gonna be, because like obviously they cursed and stuff, and they were like, well, yeah, that's the only part that's realistic. The other everything else is just like not realistic at all. Actually, I don't even know what I'm saying.
When they were crawling on the floor and remaining hidden. I mean, how is that even
Well,
possible?
okay, I'm not saying like literally realistic, but I meant like the dynamics of the high school. But then I realized that they made a standing ovation for like a very mediocre speech. So
Yeah, and they used like the cross dissolves during his speech and everything to dramatize it up.
you never use cross dissolve in a film unless for like very specific cases, but you usually never do that, and they did that. Anyways, I thought the editing in this movie wasn't like awful. Like it made sense where they made edits. Sometimes it didn't, but like it worked, I guess. So like it made the story, I guess, be like it was presentable, sort of. I said this in my essay, but
The main goal for picking this movie is we had just come off of the projects.
yeah,
We had done major research on immigration. It was very heavy and difficult. So I wanted something lighthearted, a little bit stupid, a little bit fun.
so you gave us an essay.
No, the movie.
Oh.
We weren't going to have an essay until the quarantine hit, and I had to have something ready to go
Oh.
fast to college.
I see.
Did you grade my essay yet? Did you grade my essay yet?
No, I got stuck on French 2.
I
So
went hard
my
in on this
essay?
movie.
what?
Did you grade my essay?
No, I only did French 2 today.
French
Oh,
too.
that's it.
So just, yeah, there's 21
French-
essays.
French 3 probably won't take long because you probably only got 7 essays, right?
Probably 5.
You should grade mine tomorrow.
Wow.
I will do my best.
Dang, I'm
What's
excited.
that
to hear
supposed to mean?
That there are going to be close to 60 Spanish 3 essays. So
and
I will
5
do my best.
French 3s.
5 French 3s. And
I would love to grade some Spanish essays.
I edit each one.
Wow.
So
That's a
it
lot of
takes
work.
a bit of time.
Do you like put TV on the background while you do it, or are you just like in a quiet room?
Quiet.
Wow.
So I
That's
can concentrate.
Dang.
So Nick, are you done with your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. So this movie I would never have watched in my life if it wasn't for this podcast. And I was not a fan of it, if I'm going to be honest. It's like beyond stupid. And I mean, at certain parts of this movie, it feels like a tad bit self-aware. Like it kind of knows that it is a stupid movie.
They
And-
knew. They knew.
That they knew, but at the same time, it was annoying the way that they did it, because it seemed like, oh, we know we're being a stupid movie, but then they still tried to like put emotion into it and still tried to
They were trying their best. They were trying their best to make the stupid movie as best as they could.
right, and like that's commendable, and like teenagers made this movie, right?
Yes.
So that is commendable, but I'm not gonna lie, this was really tough to sit through. It was a long hour and a half.
I could make a better one.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a better one. Rochelle's part 1 and part 2. Go watch them on YouTube.
I watched it in 30-minute increments.
Cassie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing in one sitting.
Screw that, me too.
I like 4 a.m.
Never mind.
I watched it at like 4 p.m. in 2 sittings. I watched the first 30 minutes and then I watched the other hour. And it was just really tough to get through. And like the villains in this movie, like the woman principal person, whatever she was so terrible. And like I honestly thought that the adults were like worse than the kids in terms of like
It's so
acting.
true. Oh my god. It could just be because it's in another language, but the acting for the adults is just so much worse.
I've seen a lot of Spanish movies, and the acting is like generally like fantastic. I mean, I've only seen fantastic Spanish movies, but like the acting, trust me, this was bad Spanish acting. Like this wasn't great. Honestly, it's not like I saw a lot of reviews saying that this was like one of the worst movies of all time. I don't think it's quite there. I think it's in my bottom 100 movies I've ever seen, but it's not like the worst. And yeah, it's just a bad movie. Who?
Okay, so Casi Casi is the second Spanish movie I've seen. First being Roma, and coming off of Roma,
Paul,
Wait,
this
you
is
went
the
pretty
third.
big.
This is the third.
what's the
What's
second
El-
one?
El Norte.
What?
El Norte.
Oh shoot! Oh, that changes my entire review of this movie.
Con los coyotes or
So,
whatever.
so I guess going from Roma to that to this, it's kind of a gradual slope, but it's still a downward slope. And so I only watched this because it was a homework assignment. I don't want to say too much because saying too much is going to spoil the essay you're going to read, Profa, and I do not want to do that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say that it's impressive considering that high schoolers did it, but if actual like adults ever made this, they should not be in the movie business, and they should leave and become something else.
Didn't the people who make this movie go on to do different things with their lives, anyways?
Yeah, remember the main
I think so.
guy who was in love and wanted
Emilio.
Yeah, he went off and he has his own podcast on astrology.
Who will watch
I thought that was the other guy. Wait, I thought that was the other guy.
Angel.
No, I think that's the main guy.
Angel.
Yeah, no, you're mixing Angel.
Yeah, I saw the YouTube comment.
Me too.
Oh, is it Angel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or Angel,
Well,
I don't know.
he's got he looks so different. I didn't know which one it was.
Angel was so hot in that movie.
Yeah, Angel. Is the
Yeah,
cute
no,
one.
not gonna lie. I agree with Nick.
Okay.
I just want to say, you guys had to watch one bad movie for your projects. I had to watch a bad movie for my project and this one for the podcast. So you guys got it easy.
Not bad.
True that.
I had to watch a 1990 The Little Prince TV movie, and it was quite literally like all of the planets that were like planets were very clearly Earth. They didn't even like attempt to do anything different, and 3 of the planets look literally identical. They're like in grassy, rocky areas. And then there's a businessman planet. In the book, he is on that planet by himself, and in the movie, it's just like an urban area. It's so strange. We should have reviewed that one too, so you guys could understand my opinion. But anyways, shall we give our ratings for Casi Casi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm
All
gonna
right.
give it 3
Out of 10.
out of 10.
Oh my.
Nick?
I'm gonna give it an Aleph Null out of 10. And Aleph Null, if you don't know, is the highest type of infinity there is.
Oh, Nick's favorite.
Third.
Isn't that
Third.
infinity to the power of infinity times?
I think so.
Yeah. I am going to give this a 2 out of 10.
I want to give this a clap.
Paul, you've given the same 2 emojis.
Yeah. Do you have any other emojis you could possibly use?
No, there's only 2 reactions. It's either a thumbs up or a clap. So that's my rating system.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. We need some facts and a transition sound effect.
I have one fact, and it's really weird. It got an audience award at the San Diego Latino Film Festival, got 3rd place at Philadelphia Film Festival, got 1st place at the Chicago Latino Film Festival. It got official selections for the New York International Latino Film Festival, the Visas Film Festival, and the Boston Latino Film Festival.
But remember, it was as a teen movie. So the competition would have been against other teen-developed movies.
Okay, here's another fact. Despite being a low-budget film, it has received critical praise, including Ronnie Schreib from Variety magazine and Joe Balake of the Philadelphia Film Festival, who compared it with Mean Girls and Clueless.
Wow. No, it is not on that level at all.
Oh, I think it is.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Clueless and okay, Mean Girls is awful, but Clueless is like fun. It's
Mean
enjoyable.
Girls deserves to die in a fire.
Yeah, it's a terrible.
I want to watch that.
The musical's a lot better. The musical's actually like pretty decent. Anyways, we are on to the transition sound effect.
Well, I only have one that works. So...
Well, we still need one.
Wait, which button is it?
My name is Jeff.
There it is.
There we go. Okay. This is the part of the podcast where we talk about mobile games. So, Pahul, why don't you tell us what Trivia Crack 2 is about?
Well, I think okay, I'll do it. Fine. So Trivia Crack 2 is a game. It's a sequel to the first one, Trivia Crack, and it's a trivia game where you trivia with other people you like to trivia with. Bam!
And I'm pretty sure Paul's cheating.
No, I'm not cheating. I swear to God, I'm just that good.
I'm pretty sure you're cheating.
Do you use ads, Pahul?
I do not use ads, and I don't use the extra thing. I lost against you too, Profa, so I'm not
Yeah,
cheating. If I were cheating,
I
I
don't
wouldn't let you win.
It just seems that you've won too many times for it to be without assistance.
All I'm hearing is a sore loser.
Ooh.
It just seems
Bring it
odd.
on, Profa, if you want revenge.
It's odd.
Bring
I
it
would
on.
like to point out that for the people who are trying to play, I only play in French and Spanish. So if you try to play me in English, I'm not playing.
Oh,
You played me twice in English.
I did because I wasn't
Bad.
paying attention in the beginning. And by then because people keep messing up, I keep losing all my lives resigning the game for the English people.
Oh.
So they need to
gotcha.
not do that because then I can't
Excuses.
play until all my lives are rebooted back up.
Willa Davis actually left a comment saying, "Tell Profa to play me back." So I guess she does listen to the podcast, so she will get to this point and understand her mistakes.
Okay.
Anyways,
You need to play in Spanish, and you click the classic game in the top right hand corner with the gear shift. You can pick your language. So pick the right language, because a lot of times the names come in and they're awfully strange. So I don't know whether I should be doing this in French or Spanish, like pumpkin juice. I don't know who that is.
pumpkin juice. Yeah, if pumpkin juice is listening, reveal yourself in the comments.
I'm Mr. Chabra. Just so
I figured that.
I used to be
Yeah.
Pixar 206, but then I made a new account, and now it's Robert W. Burke, I think.
I missed my chance to play with you, so I do not have a username.
Okay.
You didn't miss your chance. It's not too late.
It's not too late. I'm still playing. I'm gonna play throughout the end to the end of the semester. That's just so it's like the new Diva Dollar.
Okay.
Hey, you should do that next year.
Oh, no. If I take AP Spanish next year, can I use my Diva dollars from this year?
I haven't decided that yet. So a lot of people
Ooh,
are putting the Diva Dollar in, and they're sending me videos.
Well,
of
I
them.
have 7 Diva dollars. So I'm just gonna send them to you
I have
for like
one.
the last assignment if you want it. If you're not gonna let me
I
use
don't
them
know
next
yet.
year,
I don't know yet.
Madam,
let me know.
in my essay, I turned it in and said I wanted to use a Diva dollar I have. What do I have to do? Like, do I have to
You
send you
have
a
to
picture?
videotape yourself, you cutting it up.
Oh, okay. I'll send you that video.
Oh, that's
Also,
smart.
Is there going to be an AP French class?
I don't know. The schedule hasn't come out. The virus has preempted everything. So there's a
Dang.
lot of I don't knows for things right now.
Gotcha.
I would check with your counselor.
I will ask him because I really want to take AP French. Anyways, Paul, you should TA for AP French.
I can't TA.
Why not?
I'm taking classes.
I'm gonna TA next year. I'm like.
Plus, I don't know French. I wouldn't know what to do.
No,
She'd
you
be
just
like grade
TA.
these. I wouldn't know French.
You grade work. She'll
Yeah,
get
but I can't
in
grade work.
everything.
If,
You can't understand.
yeah, I can't understand what's happening.
One student or two students maybe. Anyways, Trivia Crack 2. I will start, and then Nick, and then Pahul, and then Madam. So Trivia Crack 2 is a game I find myself downloading and re-download and deleting and re-downloading a lot because like I have fun with it for a while and then I kind of like lose having fun with it and then I start having fun with it again. And I think that is like a bit of a problem with some mobile games that I play is that they, do that, is that they can get like pretty tiring pretty quickly. And Trivia Crack can be one of those, but I mean, for the most part, I have fun with it. I think that the questions are a little bit too wide ranging on difficulty. Like sometimes they're super
Easy, yeah.
Sometimes they're super difficult. Like one time I got one and it was like, what is the plural for deer? And the options were deer, deers, and then it was deer with an A, and then deers with 20 E's. So like obviously I know what it's going to be. But it's a fun game. It got me extra credit. I can't wait to not do
Up.
assignments because of it. So I like it for, if that was my only reason for liking it, it would still be a pretty good
Thank
game.
you, Nick.
All
It's
right.
more fun if you're playing someone you know.
What?
It's more fun if you're playing someone you know.
Oh yeah, all the games I was playing with people I didn't know, I just let them die.
Oh my
All right,
God.
who's next, Nick or Pahul?
Me.
Nick.
Why don't you both say your reviews at the same time?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Got you.
Okay. I I would never download this game unless it was okay, sorry. No, let me rephrase that. The only reason I would ever Pahul, what are you doing?
Yeah, Pahul,
I'm
calm
falling.
down.
Okay.
Pahul, calm down, man. Come on.
The only reason I would ever download this game is to play with Profa. Otherwise, I have not touched this game in my life. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Oh, you haven't played it. That's right.
Nope.
Oops. Pahul.
Yeah, I got this game back in 2018. No, 2019. This is 2020. So yeah, 2019. Then I got it again in 2020. Then I got it right now. And yeah, extra credit makes it fun. Otherwise, it's pretty boring because I'm just so good at it. I'm just insanely good at it. I'm like, whoa.
Pahul, I want to play
Okay.
you. I'm gonna set up a game right now.
No,
It's,
Robert.
Sure,
It is
but
a
I can't.
game.
I can't play French ones.
Oh, that would be interesting. I play in French, and then you play in Spanish. I mean, I play in French, and then I'll also you
No.
play in French, and then I'll play in Spanish, and we'll see how we do.
Shut up. Okay, Profos.
I feel like the easiest category for me is geography.
Really?
I feel like that's it. So my order, it goes geography, history, science, art, sports. That's my
Mine
order I go
goes
through.
Entertainment, art, geography, history, science, sports.
Yeah, sports is the last.
I'm geography, art, the entertainment, history, science, and sports because I do not know what the soccer players look like.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many times they put that picture up and then they give me all those names. I have no idea who it is. I still have no idea.
I
who it is.
I played FIFA, so I know.
Oh.
All of them are equal for me because I am just so good at everything.
It's a good read.
Damn.
Okay, Profa,
Kinda
what are your
stresses me
thoughts?
out.
Wait, Rager, I have a quick question. And with this game, if you win twice, can you remove 2 assignments?
Yeah, it's just like a Diva dollar, so you just keep it. So if it's a test, it's like a 10%. But if it's just an assignment, then you can replace it.
Okay. I think I don't want to
Okay.
do the April 27th assignment with the media worksheet.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, profile. Okay,
It's
So-
a podcast, though.
you added a private comment saying
Guys!
plus 10% for trivia crack win. What if I don't want to use my trivia crack win on the essay?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
No one wants to listen to this.
I'm sure Willa is having a great time right now.
You just
Stop,
asked
Willa.
me if you could use it. I didn't give it to you. Because
Oh,
so you just tell me that when you want to use it.
okay.
Okay. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Trivia Crack, Madam Rager?
I like it if I know who I'm playing. I'm a little bit like you. If I don't know, then it gets boring after a while and I just let it go. So I haven't played it probably in a year or two because I've challenged my students in the past.
I'm gonna kick your butt when I download it.
Since I couldn't play and talk with anyone, and so I thought this was another way of staying connected.
Yeah, it's a good idea. All right, shall we review the game? Let's give our scores. I'll start. I will give Trivia Crack 2 a 7 out of 10. Paul?
Oh,
It's gonna be
Wanna
it's
give a
either
thumbs
gonna
up.
be clapping. Okay.
clap is a negative one. The thumbs up is the positive one, you dumbo.
That doesn't make any sense. How do you even
No,
give
I-
a?
Clap for something you
Send it
hate.
to you.
How
I
do
will
you?
also give it a 7.
Dang. All right. So now we are on
I didn't.
to the user-submitted questions, and this is our last segment of the podcast. So
Yeah.
today we have three questions, and these were pretty difficult ones. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Did I take a picture of the post before I took it down? Yes, I did. Okay. So from Willa.Davis, she says her comment was all caps. Yes, I'm so stoked! 3 exclamation points. Hi, Profa! 3 exclamation points. Play me back on Trivia Crack 2 fools. Praying hands emoji. What is everyone's favorite foreign language film? And then she also wrote, tell Profa I love her, please and thanks. Thumbs up emoji. All right. Favorite foreign language movie. Who wants to start? Madame
Profa.
Rager.
So probably my favorite French movie is Jean de la Florette, and it has a sequel, Manon de la Source, and those two movies are the best French movies, hands down, of all time.
Ooh.
Wow. What
Yeah,
about
but
You know,
Spanish?
I appreciate French culture and I appreciate the French language, but I don't know why, but there's this connection in my brain where whenever someone starts speaking French, I just think of them as a douchebag. And we can move on now.
What was the name of it again? Jean de la
Florette
Florette.
and
What-
Manon de Source.
What's your favorite Spanish movie?
Probably Pan's Labyrinth.
Have you seen
Oh,
Roma?
You should show that in class.
It's
I'd
violent.
have to do the whole permission slip again, and it's so violent. I'm sure
That's
that
awesome.
someone would scream.
Why do you like violent movies so much?
I first of all, I like the
Violence.
message, and I like Del Toro. I like the way he made the monsters, so that speaks more to what Robert's field is and looking at the way the movie's made. And I like the horror and connecting it to the Spanish Civil War.
Do you like horror movies, like actual like scary movies?
No,
Damn.
Pan's Labyrinth, it's hard to call it a horror movie. It's more like a fantasy.
Well,
never-
I mean the emotion of horror. Not that it's
Right.
a horror film, but the horror that people experienced during that time period with the major violence and equates to what a civil war would be like.
I would
Right.
thrive.
I really liked that the movie going in. I thought it was going to be a war movie based on fantasy, but the fantasy was actually like the exciting and innocent part, and the war and the horror parts was the war, which I really liked. I
Mhm.
love it when movies do that. Nick, what is your favorite foreign language movie?
I'm gonna be completely honest. I've only seen 2, and that is Casi Casi and the one we Del Toro, the one we saw in class.
You've seen Parasite.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
Parasite's my
it's
favorite.
not
Parasite's my
Del Toro.
favorite. Yeah, sorry. Parasite's my favorite.
I'm not surprised.
Cause it's the only one that's like good that I've seen. Out of the 3 that I've seen.
Parasite, Madam Raker?
What was that?
Have you seen Parasite?
I have not.
It's on Hulu now. If you have Hulu, you should definitely check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely watch it.
Okay, Pahul, do you want to give yours?
I want to say it's an Indian movie. I used to watch it when I was a kid. It's Tarzan the Wonder Car. It's a car that comes alive. It's like Cars, but it's in India.
Oh,
pretty
I'm so
cool.
disappointed in you.
Oh, no, because it's a crazy movie. You know why? Because the kid's dad dies, and his ghost possesses this new car, and he goes around the kid and guides him through life. It's a pretty sick movie.
Wow. I am going to share some of my favorite foreign language movies. Parasite is definitely up there. Seven Samurai is a movie I love. 8.5 and La Dolce Vita are both fantastic. Bicycle Thieves and The 400 Blows are great. I love Come and See. I love Harakiri. I love A Brighter Summer Day. I love Battleship Potemkin. And I love Diabolique. Those are all foreign language movies I have given an A+ to. However, my number 1 foreign language film of all time is called Stalker. And it is from 1979. And I was once talking to people about this movie, and I said it was my favorite foreign movie, and I thought I said something other than foreign that rhymes with foreign. And that was not a great experience for me. Anyways, our next...
What rhymes with foreign?
What?
What rhymes with foreign?
Oh, you're so stupid.
Nick, wait, do you actually not know?
Are you talking about the F word?
No! No, no one's talking
Rager gets it and you don't.
Oh, porn.
Anyways, okay. And then this next question is pretty loaded. It's from @WildMustangWill. He asks, "What are your guys' top 10 movies ever made?" So, does anyone want to start out, or should I?
I'm gonna pass because I don't know if I could come up with a top 10.
Could you just come up with some of your favorites?
Well, I think one of the Das Buch was a foreign film.
Oh yeah.
Probably the 3 that I just mentioned. So that's 4. I don't know.
Wait.
I am passing.
Here, you guys think, and I'll share my top 10. These are in no order, although I know what my top 2 are, even though my top 2, I don't know which one is number 1. 12 Angry Men is up there. Stalker, which I just mentioned, is there. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, There Will Be Blood, A Brighter Summer Day, Battleship Potemkin, It's a Wonderful Life, The Conversation, and then my 1 and 2 in no order for those 2 are The Graduate and Moonlight.
Okay.
Nick, do you have maybe some favorite movies?
I have my top 3.
Yeah.
My favorite one is Swiss Army Man, and my second favorite isn't even a movie; it's a book, and it's called Ghostopolis. It's a comic book that I ordered, and it just arrived today.
Nick, we said top 10 movies.
I don't care. And my third favorite is probably There Will Be Blood. That's really good.
You watched it and you were like, Robert, this was really good, but not as good as you were hyping it up to be.
Yeah. I changed my mind, bro. And I like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
All right. Pahul.
Okay, okay, let's see. First it goes Cars, then it goes Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, then it goes Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, then it goes Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, then it goes and Deathly Hallows Part 1, and then it goes
Indiana Jones.
And then it goes
Very
Prisoner of Azkaban, and then it goes Order of the Phoenix, and then Half-Blood Prince. That's my top 10.
That's 9 movies.
No, I added... Oh, shoot.
The Mop Father.
You know what? I like that. Yeah. Add that on.
Oh, Profa, do you even know what the Mop Father is?
Maybe not that one. Maybe we should show her Wakandan National Anthem instead.
No, I'm not talking about my Mop Father. I'm
true
talking about the
that.
actual Mop Father.
Why would she care? Rager, do you have any other movies that you thought of that are in your top 10?
Once that Pahul brought up Harry Potter, all of those movies, the series together, I thought were fantastic. And then the other series is The Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah. The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King is my number 11, so it was like an honorable mention on the list.
Yeah, I'd put those up there at the top.
Yeah.
I want to watch the Lord of the Rings movies once I finish the book. The big book, Lord of the Rings book.
It's a very
Well, I mean, it's a big book, so I'm kind of scared of starting it. But I'll start it soon.
Madam Rager, I have a question. Have you ever seen The Conversation?
No.
You haven't? Okay, it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie. It's very good. Anyways, and we have one question left. It is from...
He has a daughter.
What?
Francis Coppola has a daughter, right?
He does, Sophia Coppola.
True that. I knew that.
All right, from Whoop Wap, we have Best Jim Carrey role. I am going to start off with this one and say that The Truman Show is my favorite Jim Carrey performance because he carries that entire movie on his shoulders, and it's a fantastic movie anyway. So I will give it to that one.
I'm going to say God Almighty.
Say what?
God Almighty.
God Almighty? Nice.
I am not a fan.
No, isn't that Evan
That's
Almighty?
probably the best one he did.
Isn't
Oh.
it Evan Almighty?
Evan Almighty? Oh, wait, no, I totally changed my mind. My favorite Jim Carrey performance is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He is like so exceptional in that. Have you guys seen that movie?
Nope, never heard of
Yes.
it.
Nick, you would love it. It would be in your top 10. I guarantee it. Bruce Almighty is the one you're thinking of,
Bruce
right?
Almighty, yeah. Where
Right.
he saw it.
Pahul?
I've only watched one Jim Carrey movie, and that's The Mask. So I'm gonna say The Mask.
Mask is so goddamn good.
I saw it once, but I don't remember it.
Wait, no.
Not
Oh
memorable.
shoot.
What?
Oh no, I haven't watched The Mask. I've watched the Son of the Mask.
Oh,
What?
which he's not in.
No, he's not.
Oh, I'm gonna go for The Mask then.
Mine is Liar Liar, in which he tries to win his son back through a divorce.
Yes.
And doesn't he like lie the entire movie? He's like a pathological liar.
That movie's so
That's
bad.
the title, bro.
Something happens to him, so he can't lie, so he only says the truth after that.
It's like a 1997 Hallmark movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, if that is it for the questions, then this concludes the 5th episode of the Film Studies Club podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Madam Rager. We usually share our social media handles like at the end. So let's start with Pahul. Pahul, where can the good people find you?
Well, watch the other podcast episodes and you'll know.
Pahul, that's not what you're supposed to say.
Bam! Nailed it.
Nick?
They can find me on Google Maps, probably, if they really tried.
You can find me at robert.burke9 or on another movie-related podcast I am on called Toy Box Productions. You can look that up. And Madam Rager, where can the good people find you?
I am hanging out in Google Classroom.
Yeah.
Nice.
You still won't give out that Instagram, okay.
Nope.
I think I know somebody who found it. Anyways, that concludes this episode of the Film Studies Club podcast. And Pahul, do you want to take us out?
I don't know what. What do you
Don't
mean by
you
that?
usually say something at the end?
I never say. Oh, yeah. Good night, everyone. Thanks for having me. New York. Oh, something. Reading. Yeah.